We are back at it, guys. Welcome back. My name is Pancis. If it's your first time tuning in, please be sure to smash that subscribe button. If not, thanks for your continued support. I'm gonna really need it in this video, guys. I really do. Let's hop into this. Alright, so for starters, you guys can see we have a charger charging up the battery. The battery was not dead, but since it's been consistently 15 degrees, 20 degrees outside, and I haven't been running the car at all, and it's going to be snowing the next couple days, I figured that it's a good idea to just get this thing charged up, so when we go to need to move the car here in the next day or two, it doesn't have a dead battery when it's, I don't know, 2 feet of snow outside. So that's what's going on here. But in today's video, this is the first time I'm picking up a wrench in about a month. So I'm going to be getting underneath this car here on the driver's side to address the suspension clicking that we're getting. I think it's just probably a bushing or maybe a control arm that is shot. So we're going to hop into that, and then I'm going to break down the complete expense or estimated expense to repair this car to bring it back to life. It's really not good, guys. So if I can have any support, would be freaking fantastic. If every one of you watching this can send me like $1 or $2, I don't know, or check out the Teespring account below, buy yourself a hoodie, something to help this car out. Otherwise, it's gonna be rough, guys. This is really, really rough. So we've gone through a review of this, of everything that's wrong, but I haven't really actually gone into the depths of what it will cost to bring this thing back to actual driving. You know, it's not really in a driving position right now. The ECM is bad, so it's getting misfires. We got airbag lights. We got lights out. I don't know. We're missing a cap there. It's low on oil, obviously. It has to probably have an oil change. I mean, the tires are leaking air. The brakes are shot. I mean, I can just continue going on and on and on. The fuel gauge isn't working, which means the fuel pump needs to be dropped, which means, or excuse me, the fuel pump needs to be replaced, or the sending unit needs to be replaced, which in this car, obviously, we just replace the whole unit, which entails dropping the fuel tank. I mean, all right. By the way, the airbags, I don't even know what to do. We have B0077, B0078, we have B0100, and B0103. Some of that has to do with the side impact sensors on the driver's side. Some of that has to do with some of the airbag sensors underneath the seat. I don't really know what to do. We're going to have to get into that. Maybe we'll remove some of the seats. I saw the actual ABS, or excuse me, the airbag sensors underneath the seats. Some of them were unplugged and some of them were loose, so maybe that has something to do with some of that. Maybe you guys, whoever out there has this car, I've never done too much with the new generation 9.3s outside that Turbo X project we did last year. So if you guys have any idea or inclination of what this would look like, those codes, please let me know. So yeah, let's just run through this real quick. We got tires. We got $800 for tires, roughly. Figure we spend about $600 on tires, plus another $150 in mounting them. So figure $800 in tires. We got to do a full brake change on this car. The brakes look all rusted out and pretty shoddy. So that's another $330 roughly. We're going to do a complete oil change, probably do an air filter. So figure $50 there. Airbags, if the units all need to be replaced, figure $300 for all the sensors, unless I can get something used. Fuel pump cost, hard cost on the fuel pump is $245. I don't think I'm going to remove the fuel tank on my own in the driveway here. It's just not really an ideal situation on the driveway. So figure another $400 in labor, figuring it takes them 3 hours to do that job, maybe 4 hours to do that job. Body work, miscellaneous body work. We got a dent on this panel here. This is obviously not the worst or most important out of all of this, but we got a dent over here. This is all stuff that I think could be removed without paint. The worst damage here on the car is right here. But again, this, I believe, can most likely be removed, majority of that, without having to paint. There's a little chipping here, so maybe a little paint. But anyway, so figure $500 for everything. I have a really good relationship with the Mako guys, and obviously this would be a Mako kind of a deal. There's the tires. You guys can see they're completely shot. There's the brakes, also not looking so good, and the pads look pretty low. Moving on, I mentioned that we have misfiring going on with all of the fuel injectors. We've done a code scan on this, and that just leads you to the ECM being no good. So the ECM is the computer system that runs the fuel injectors and all that. It's a very common failure on these cars as they age. So that's another $200 with shipping and tax included. There's a company that will rebuild those. So that's $200 there. And then the last thing is, besides for the airbag diagnosis, is there's some suspension moving around on this wheel here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pull this wheel off. We're going to pry bar on that and see what's going on so we can diagnose which part of the suspension needs to be replaced, price it out, and then I'll give you guys like a sum total of what this is looking like. So stay tuned. Let's hop into it.
What is that there?
What's that? This?
Yeah.
This is sway bar link.
What is it?
This is a sway bar link.
What is it called?
Sway bar link.
Sway bar.
Alright, so this is the sway bar here. This black thing. So that goes along to the other side, and it just stabilizes the car in the turns. That's why in like high performance cars they get strut mounts as well. It also balances the top end. So this this helps stabilize the suspension on turns, like minimize the body roll. This is your power steering, or this is your tie rod end, so that's your steering. And this is your lower control arm, and that's what is moving when I hit the brakes. And that's being caused by the bushings shot. So the bushings are shot. So like when I do this, everything's shifting.
That ain't safe.
I mean, it's not dangerous, but it ain't pleasant, so. That's what it is. Alright guys, so the clicking noise is the lower control arm bushings. I can replace those bushings, or I can just replace the full lower control arm. So we got the part value on that. So if I total everything up that is wrong with this car at face value without diving into the airbag scenario, we're looking at roughly $2,950 in parts and labor. Obviously most of that I will be able to do myself, except for the fuel pump I said I wouldn't do. Figuring we add a 10% margin for other miscellaneous things, i.e. some missing light bulbs that are dead, whatever. Add another $300 to the $2,950, and you'll add $3,250 is what we're looking at roughly to bring this car back to life. This car has 145,000 miles on it, so it's really not all that old in terms of mileage. It's just never been kept up on. The owner before this just never really took care of the car, never maintained it. It looks like they abused it in many different aspects. The inside is completely trashed. We haven't even taken the time to detail that out. So that's the circumstances here. This car is essentially totaled out in terms of its dollar value and everything that's wrong. And this is all just kind of rough estimates. So yeah, click the link below at Teespring. Check out all of the hoodies and hats and everything that I've created for you guys. If you guys are enthusiastic about me saving this car and enthusiastic about all the work I've done, and you guys want to buy something for yourself, that'd be a great way to support me on this. This thing's pretty far gone here. So this is an update for you guys. So let's put this all back together here. I'm just gonna probably do it off camera. We'll put the wheel back on, put the car back together, and then I'll just go ahead and check out the airbag sensors underneath the two front seats. Let's hop into it. Alright, so we took care of a couple lights that were on the dash when we turned the key on. Just so you guys can know, I topped off the oil. Just put a quart in because I had an extra one laying around. And I also went ahead, topped off the coolant, and I was missing the reservoir cap here for the power steering. So I just took my old glove off and put some rubber bands just to kind of prevent moisture from getting in there. And then of course I replaced the side marker headlights on both sides. And that kind of took care of all of the lights that were warning lights except for the airbag and the fuel system. And then of course the washer fluid's low, but I'm not gonna fill that up until we really know what's going on with everything here. So good news and bad news. I know I've mentioned this before to you guys about the airbag harnesses underneath the seats here. This is unplugged completely, and the other side is also got a loose wire. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hop in there real quick, see what this is, what it looks like, and maybe we can just find the plugs, plug it back in, and maybe the light goes off and it fixes everything. I'm not sure. So wish me luck. Let's see. If we can address this airbag situation, that takes off $300 from that bill, which is making money. So let's let's hope and pray here. Alright, so I just took a little break here. I sent some pictures of this scenario to Jacob at Autoautopsy because I saw he was the only car or the only video on YouTube that has discussed Saab 9.3 seats with airbag lights, etc, etc. So I took a picture, and obviously I'm looking, I took apart the seat, did all this, I couldn't find anything, but this right here is where this plug goes into. So I need to replug that in, and then we'll put this seat back together. So let me just go ahead and do that. I'm gonna turn the camera off because it's dying and get a new battery put in, but I'm just wanted to show you guys where that goes right here, and that's what we're gonna do with it now. Alright, now that I figured this out, I can finally say that this is the dumbest freaking engineering I've ever seen Saab do. I mean, GM actually do. Because that's what this is. This is a GM freaking move. This is stupid that the way they let this just dangle around, and obviously this is going to disconnect once this gets loose. Duh. So dumb. Let me try to secure this thing underneath, and we'll put the seat back. Alright guys, so I put a zip tie around this unit here on the bottom, and then I zip tied over here around the frame, around this harness so it doesn't slide out of that socket there. So stupid what Saab did here. Anyways, this side's addressed. Let's put the seat back together. Alright, quick update for you guys. We got the driver's seat back in, passenger seat out. I found the harness, same one, unplugged. Seems to be the common trait here. So the problem is those pins fell out of the harness clip, and as you guys can see, the harness clip is completely cracked. So what we're going to do is figure out which wire goes into where. There's a positive, negative, obviously, and try to resolder everything back together and plug it back in to that side railing there. Alright guys, we got that harness resituated. I'm gonna go ahead, raise that seat back in, plug it in, and cross our fingers. I think it should be good. Should be good. Alright, I got freaking good news and I got bad news. The good news is I put the seat in, I turned the key on to move the seat, everything was fine. No chime, no airbag malfunction. And then I noticed the wire was getting squeezed that I just fixed, right? And I moved it and adjusted it, and of course it popped out. As soon as it popped out, I heard the chime. Now I don't know if there's a coincidence in there where it just kind of happened at the same time, or if it was actually legitimately plugged in, working, and then obviously since that harness and the plastic was all cracked, it just didn't hold. So I'm gonna put this on hold. I didn't fasten the seat together yet because obviously it needs to still come out, but that's an update on the airbag. I suspect that should solve all of those codes. Not 100%, but it just seems kind of like it makes sense. So that's it for today, guys. I think we got a lot of things situated here and figured out. I'm gonna go ahead now and wrap it up because it's getting pretty snowy out there. So I'll catch you outside so you guys can see it. Alright guys, it's a winter wonderland. 12 to 14 inches, 12 to 20?
18 to 24.
18 to 24. Holy smokes. Hold on here, let me open the door for you. There's an update for you guys on the weather. So that's gonna conclude this episode of the 9.3 convertible. If you guys have any comments, please drop them below. Give this video a like, and of course, as always, please smash the subscribe button and follow me at Pancis on my Instagram. Also, if you guys want to support the channel, be sure to check out the Teespring link below. I have some merch in there, some hoodies, t-shirts, hats, all sorts of fun goodies. And of course, all of that support will be reinvested into, of course, this Saab project so we can save another Saab. As always, thanks for your guys' continued support and love out there. Keep Saabing, have a great day, and I'll see you guys next episode.